We're not decades away anymore. We're a few years from transforming how HIV is treated. That's quite a statement, isn't it?
It really is. That's from Dr. Anthony Watson, heading up cure research at the CDC.
Yeah, and for anyone tracking medical science or, anyone whose life is touched by HIV, hearing that, it's pretty significant. Welcome, everyone, to The Deep Dive. We take complex topics, look at the latest expert sources, and really try to distill what matters most for you.
And today we're diving into something genuinely groundbreaking.
Exactly. We're looking at this major shift happening right now in 2026 in HIV cure research. There's this real sense of optimism.
There really is.
So our mission today is simple. Unpack what the experts are saying. What's driving this hope? What are the breakthroughs? What challenges are still there? And really, what does it all mean for you?
Yeah, what's the takeaway?
Precisely. We're drawing from a recent expert summary from this year, 2026. It highlights what they're calling a new era in the science.
And it's not just one lab's opinion, right?
No, not at all. It pulls together research from major players, the CDC, NIH, plus international programs, Europe, South Africa, China. It's broad.
Okay.
So if you follow medical advances, or if HIV is part of your life, we want this deep dive to give you those crucial sort of behind-the-scenes insights. We'll translate the science into, hopefully, clear, practical knowledge. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. I think the first thing to clarify maybe is what experts even mean by cure in this context.
That's a great starting point. Because the word cure can mean different things to different people, right?
Exactly. In the public mind, it often means one absolute thing, complete eradication, gone forever.
Right.
But scientists, they work with more specific definitions, and understanding these is, well, it's essential to grasp why there's so much optimism now.
Okay, so break that down for us. If it's not always complete eradication, what are the types of cures they're aiming for?
Well, they generally talk about two main types. The first one is what most people think of, that's the sterilizing cure.
The ultimate goal.
The ultimate goal, yes, complete elimination. No virus left hiding anywhere, no chance of it bouncing back, and, crucially, no need for meds, ever. The virus is just gone.
Wow. Okay, that sounds ideal. Has anyone actually achieved that?
In extremely rare cases, yes. And always under very specific high-risk conditions. We've heard about the Burlai patient, the London patient.
Right, those cases.
They seem to have achieved this sterilizing cure, but, and this is the key thing, it involved things like high-risk stem cell transplants.
Which aren't an option for most people.
Exactly. Not feasible, not safe for the vast majority. So while those cases teach us a ton about the virus, a sterilizing cure like that isn't really a scalable solution right now.
Okay, so if that's incredibly difficult and rare, where's the real buzz? Where's the focus that's generating this 2026 optimism?
That leads us to the second type, the functional cure. And this is where most of the excitement and the research funding is really centered now.
A functional cure. How does that differ?
With a functional cure, the virus technically is still in the body, but here's the difference. It's suppressed down to undetectable levels without needing daily antiretroviral therapy, ART.
Ah, so no daily pills, but the virus is controlled.
Precisely. The person stays healthy, their own immune system or maybe other interventions keep the virus locked down, and importantly, they can't transmit it.
Okay.
This is what experts increasingly believe is genuinely within reach for potentially millions of people. It's a massive shift from maybe someday to something achievable soon. It redefines success on a large scale.
That idea within reach for millions, that really lands. So let's get into the science driving that. What are the specific breakthroughs making 2026 feel so different?
Right. This is where it gets really exciting. We're seeing a convergence of different powerful approaches. One of the biggest names you hear is CRISPR gene editing.
CRISPR, yeah. Used to be science fiction almost.
Almost. But now it's moving seriously into clinical trials for HIV. What they're doing specifically is using CRISPR to basically knock out the CCR5 receptor.
That's the doorway HIV uses to get into our cells, right?
Exactly that. It's like locking the door. In the early human trials, they're showing good safety, which is obviously step one.
Crucial.
But more than that, some patients have gone over 6 months with no detectable virus coming back after stopping RT.
Well, that's huge. 6 months without meds.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Dr. Marla Ortiz over at the NIH Immunotherapy Group put it bluntly. This is the closest we've come to controlling HIV without lifelong meds.
Incredible. Just the concept of editing genes to block the virus. It's amazing. What else is showing real promise?
Another key area is latency-reversing agents, or LRAs. You might hear this called shock and kill.
Shock and kill. Sounds intense.
It kind of is. The idea is that HIV can hide dormant in certain cells, these reservoirs. LRAs are designed to shock or wake up that hidden virus.
Flush it out of hiding.
Exactly. Make it visible again so the immune system or other drugs can then kill or eliminate it. The big advance now is that the newer LRAs seem much more targeted and less toxic than the older ones.
That safety aspect is key, I imagine.
Absolutely. Making it a more viable strategy. Think of it like finding hidden enemy camps that were invisible before. Now you can actually target them.
Okay, so we're waking up the virus to kill it. Are we also finding ways to boost the body's own fight against it?
Yes, definitely. That brings us to therapeutic vaccines. Now, it's important to stress these aren't the vaccines we usually think of, the ones to prevent getting infected in the first place.
Right, not preventative. So what do?
They're designed for people already living with HIV. The goal is to train their immune system to better control or maybe even eliminate the virus that's already there.
Kind of like teaching the body's own defenses new tricks.
That's a great way to put it. And early trials, places like Thailand and France, are showing some really encouraging results. It suggests we can potentially boost the body's ability to keep HIV in check long term.
Okay, gene editing, shock and kill, therapeutic vaccines. What about antibodies? We hear a lot about antibody therapies for other things.
Yes, that's the fourth major area. Broadly neutralizing antibodies, or bnAbs.
Broadly neutralizing, meaning they work against lots of different HIV strains.
Exactly. HIV is notorious for mutating, changing its shape to evade the immune system. But these bnAbs, they're powerful antibodies, often developed in the lab, that can recognize and neutralize a wide range of HIV variants.
So they're more versatile.
Much more. And the really exciting part is using them in combination maybe with RT initially, or perhaps with those therapeutic vaccines aiming for long-term remission, that functional cure state.
And are these bnAbs being tested now?
Oh, yes. In 2026, there are several significant U.S. trials looking specifically at combining bnAbs with, get this, gene therapy. They're calling it a combo cure model. Attack the virus from multiple angles at once.
A multi-pronged attack. That makes sense.
Wow.
Okay, that's a lot of really advanced science happening simultaneously.
It is. It's a very dynamic field right now.
So, boiling it down, what are the key messages coming from the researchers leading this charge? Beyond the specific techniques, what's the nuanced overall picture they're painting?
I think the number one message, connecting back to Dr. Watson's quote, is we're close, but not done.
Right. Manage expectations, but acknowledge the progress.
Exactly. Dr. Watson said, we've entered a new phase. This isn't about if a cure will happen. It's about when and how accessible it will be. That shift from if to when is profound. We're talking years, not necessarily decades anymore.
That completely changes the feeling around HIV research. It moves from just hope to real anticipation. So if when is the question, what does that imply about how these cures might work in practice?
Well, that leads straight to the second big message. One size won't fit all.
Meaning not everyone will get the same cure.
That's what it looks like. Experts are clear these therapies will likely need to be tailored, highly personalized.
Why is that?
Because HIV varies, and people's genetics vary. What works brilliantly for one person might not work for another. Some treatments might be best for people diagnosed very early. Others might need specific genetic markers.
Can you give an example?
Sure, like the CRISPR therapies targeting CCR5. They might only work for people whose virus uses CCR5 and who don't have certain other mutations. Or the bnAb therapies, maybe they'll need a booster shot every few months to stay effective.
So it's moving towards personalized medicine for HIV cures.
Very much so. Understanding your own specifics, genetics, viral characteristics can become really important.
Okay, what about the practical side? Getting these cures, once proven, out to the world.
That's the third crucial message, and it's a big one. Affordability and equity will define success.
A cure isn't much good if people can't get it.
Precisely. Researchers are loudly calling for pharmaceutical companies, for governments, to think about global access now, to plan for it, to avoid the kind of terrible inequities we saw with COVID-19 treatments and vaccines.
Learning from past mistakes, hopefully.
That's the goal. They're stressing that this ethical piece, this public health piece, is just as critical as the science itself.
Absolutely vital. Okay, and finally, what's the most direct, actionable message for our listeners right now based on all this?
The fourth key message, and maybe the most important one for individuals, is that testing will still be essential. Perhaps even more essential.
More essential. Why is that?
Because even with cures on the horizon, early detection is going to be critical for several reasons. First, lab tests will determine who's even eligible for these new cure trials and therapies.
Holification.
Exactly. Second, testing will be how they monitor success. Is the cure holding? Is the virus staying undetectable long term?
Makes sense.
And third, testing is crucial to catch any potential viral rebound before someone gets sick again. Find it early. And specifically, tests like HIV RNA tests, CD4 counts, viral load checks, these remain fundamental. Staying undetectable now doesn't just manage your health today.
It makes you a better candidate for these future cure studies.
That's exactly what the experts are saying. Preparedness is key.
Okay, this really paints a picture. It's not just lab work. It involves personal action, too. Can we get a quick snapshot of the pipeline? Where do these different approaches actually stand in 2026?
Yeah, let's run through that. So CRISPR gene editing, we mentioned it's moving forward. It's currently in phase 2 trials. The expectation is wider enrollment starting next year, 2027. That's pretty advanced.
Phase 2, okay. What about the antibody combos?
The bnAbs combined with ART, those are in human testing now. The next big step everyone's watching for is global trial expansion, taking it to more diverse populations.
And the stem cell transplants. Still just rare cases.
Pretty much. Stem cell transplants remain rare, high risk. They're more like informative case studies, teaching us about the possibility of a sterilizing cure rather than a widespread treatment strategy.
Got it. Therapeutic vaccines.
Therapeutic vaccines are currently in phase 3 trials, so still relatively early, but showing enough promise that the next step is likely broader regional rollouts for more testing.
And the shock and kill LRAs.
Shock and kill, LRAs, are still mainly experimental. They need more work on improving safety before they move into larger trials. So, promising concept, but a bit further behind the others in the pipeline right now.
Okay, that's a really helpful overview of where things are at. This whole conversation, it really shifts the perspective.
It does.
For you listening, it means that word cure, it's not just aspirational anymore. There's real hard science happening now behind it.
Absolutely. It's tangible in a way it hasn't been before. And it also means, practically, that new clinical trials are opening up and they're enrolling faster than ever.
So the message isn't wait and see.
No, it's more like you don't have to wait for some distant someday to potentially get involved or benefit from this cure-focused research. It's relevant now.
So let's make it really concrete. What can people do starting today based on this? What are the action steps?
Okay, number 1, and we touched on this. Get tested regularly, know your status, early diagnosis is key.
Especially using tests like HIV RNA.
Yes, things like HIV RNA tests, CD4 counts, viral load checks. These are crucial not just for managing health today, but for potentially qualifying for future therapies. And remember, staying undetectable makes you a stronger candidate for cure studies down the line.
And you mentioned a resource for testing.
Right. For anyone in the U.S. looking for fast, confidential HIV RNA testing, there's a resource, hivrnatest.com. They have labs across the country.
Okay, good to know. Beyond testing.
Talk to your doctor, seriously. Ask them about cure research. Ask if there are any clinical trials, maybe through the NIH, CDC, or local universities that you might be eligible for. Your doctor is your best resource for personalized information.
Be proactive in that conversation.
Exactly. And third, stay updated. Follow trusted HIV news sources. Things are changing fast. Being informed empowers you.
Get tested. Talk to your doctor. Stay updated. Simple but powerful steps.
They really are.
You know, reflecting on all this, it feels like we're moving beyond just saying HIV is manageable.
I agree. The conversation is shifting.
It's on the edge of being curable. That's not hype. That's where the science is pointing, based on these 2026 sources.
The work definitely isn't finished. There are hurdles, ethical considerations, access issues.
Of course.
But the trajectory has changed. The finish line, particularly for a functional cure, feels like it's actually coming into view. This decade could genuinely transform lives.
So whether you're living with HIV, supporting someone who is, or you're just someone who cares about medical progress,
now is the time to pay attention, to be informed, maybe get involved, because the future of HIV treatment, it isn't decades away anymore. In many ways, it's already starting to arrive.